But as a business owner, when you're looking at your debt and you're going, it's okay, they'll pay me at some point, maybe you need to consider that a bad debt. And unfortunately, when you're the person who owes the money, you tend not to feel the pressure. Unajua, when someone is over there waiting for, they've already done the work, they've already completed the assignment, and now they're waiting for their dues, and you're telling them, give me 180 days, give me 365 days and a quarter. I mean, oftentimes when you're the person who owes money, it doesn't feel like that much of a pinch. But unfortunately for Betty Chalo, this particular person who she owed money was not willing to play that game of 170 days and then we'll pay you like an LPO, right? So they ended up calling her and telling her, look, if you don't pay me my money, I will anika you on the internet, and I will tell people that you owe me this and this amount of money, and I will get trolls and people to start talking about you. And we've all seen the kinds of situations where celebrities who end up owing people money and how embarrassing it actually gets for them. So I can completely understand why Betty Chalo felt a little bit like, okay, maybe I don't care that much, but I do not want to be dragged in that mess. I remember the whole drama with Vera Sidika, and was it her wedding, her baby shower? There was something where people were coming out with receipts and saying that she didn't pay them X amount of money. There was people who gave them food, said they didn't get paid. People who, gave them many different services didn't get paid. And actually, I know of some others. We know of someone who actually was not paid for their services, and they were told that they would be paid with exposure. These things happen a lot in those circles because you think people have money, but they really maybe don't have money. So Betty Chalo was called and she was told, babe, better give me that money or I'm expose you.
Wow.
You attack exposure, you ndio anakuwa exposer. Okay. Anyway, so she said she doesn't really care about the backlash or anything, but it gave her kiwewe. Alipata maji kwenye tumbo. So much so that she went and took money from her personal account and gave it to this person in order to just get them off of their back. She said that it felt a little bit like blackmail, and she felt very uncomfortable with someone constantly looming about with the I will expose you vibe. Anyway, long story short, she says yes, the money was in the bank, it wasn't supposed to be used for anything else, but it still felt painful for her to take money that wasn't supposed to be paid to anyone. That was her own personal money. It wasn't accounted for, and therefore she wasn't planning on spending it at some point or another. And she says that ultimately, yeah, that's what happens. It was a lot of pressure on her part. And I think generally, if you've spent anyone's services or products, pay for them immediately. And I know this from experience. Kama hautalipa hiyo siku yenye umepatiwa delivery. There is something about not paying debts that feels so nice. Yani, you are relaxing. Somebody is calling you and calling you and calling you and calling you, and you feel like you really owe that. Like, I gave them this job. They should feel I gave them this opportunity, and therefore I gave them this service. If I didn't give them this service, they would never have this money, and so on. You kind of have that. There's a spirit of not paying debt that creeps up on you very quickly. So oftentimes, if I am paying for something, I'll pay for it immediately. I don't want debt. Mistaki ati, I'm sitting there with someone's money. Because pesa kutoka kwa mfuko is usually very painful. Very, very painful.
True.
So I understand why she may have delayed with the money, but I also kind of feel like, okay, yeah, maybe even the person who gave the services or products may have felt like, yeah, they needed to be paid. So it's like one of those situations where who was on the wrong, who was on the right. It's not really blackmail if you owe someone money, is it?
True.
Yeah?
I remember growing up, though, this lady, she was very well off. She actually used to work for the UN. She used to drive a big car. She was a neighbor, but she had a very bad reputation when it comes to credit. And even, mama mboga, mama wa fruits, mama wa nini, they used to tell stories. Akipita na gari, usijaribu kumpatia. She's very bad with paying. And I didn't understand it because you can afford to pay mama mboga. She should not be chasing you and stopping your car every day kwa traffic. Wanakungojea tu, ametokea katikati ya barabara, stopping your car so that you can pay for mahini. And I really did not understand it. And I came and told my mom, kwa nini mama so and so anakuanga hivi? Why doesn't she pay her debt? So much so, it's become a cautionary tale among the mama mbogas. And then my mom was like, the thing with rich people, everything feels free. You
have so much money. free.
You get to a certain tax bracket and everything feels free. And a small amount that would feel very big for me, mimi kama uko na 200 yangu, I feel like you're trying to stop my destiny, you know. But for her, she's like, what is this sharp change? You know, it doesn't make a
Chasing you
difference
down
for her.
1,000 shillings.
How dare you stop my car?
Stop my car that is fueled with 10,000.
You know, just to give you this small amount of money. And it's just that correlation. When you hit a certain tax bracket, your relationship with money becomes
so
very
strange.
You want to keep your money, you don't want to give it away.
You know,
you feel entitled
there
to,
is a friend
you know.
of mine. Well, yeah, there was a very close friend of mine who had funny. They were very stingy, and I'm like, dude, you have the money. Why are you always acting like it's going to be the end of the world if you spend like 5 G's or something like that? And the guy's like, do you know why rich people stay rich? It's because they never spend their money. That's how you stay rich.
Exactly.
And you kind of get it.
So I understand the data.
Yeah.
I understand because maybe Mambiwa, you don't worry about it. I'll sort you out. Mambiwa, I'll sort you out for 2 months. And anagongewa mlango na landlord, you know, pay this money. And the person who owes you this money is so blasé about it. They're not worried.
They're not.
You do your own thing. Don't disturb me because of small money.
Shekana pesa ya mtu. Unbothered.
Mimi I can't. Nasikianga hivi.
Unawashwa.
Wewe. Hata huwezi post chakula kwa social media. You have chicken wings, fries, milkshake. You can't even do a boomerang because what if the person sees? They say, angalia vile nakula vizuri. Na kona my money. It's very... it's a lot.